An area of building these VR experiences and games that's extremely crucial for world immersion and kind of rewarding that attention that you're, attracting from your users is the actual like interactions that they're having in the world and the experiences they're having when they do a certain thing or walk up to a certain object. What the things that you keep in mind, Eugene, when you're building out those types of interactions to make sure that they're as rewarding and satisfying for your users as possible?
For me, the interactions are everything. Like that is what you go to VR to do, or that is what I go to VR to do. And the people who like my worlds, like I guess tend to agree. I think with interactivity, like it just requires having that sense within yourself of like, is this a delightful and engaging thing that I want to do? Is this something that I want to do repeatedly? Is this something that, when I hoped what the experience would be of jumping off a building and, shooting a grappling hook and swinging, do I get some of that experience? And if not, then the interaction isn't good enough yet. And so I think having like the sensitivity and dare I say courage to kind of admit like, no, still not working, still not good enough. I think that's really important. The things that you do the most should be the things that are fun to do. Mm-hmm. So you mentioned like the samurai world before. That world is all about chopping stuff and collecting swords. That world was not built around the swords. Like there's like 40 really cool swords and you can, gain XP and buy and get gold and buy them with gold and all that stuff. The swords were the last thing that I built in that world. The first thing that I built in that world was like a single stalk of bamboo. I was actually building it for a different world, for a tutorial in a different world. And I realized that chopping a bamboo and having it cut exactly where you cut it and then slowly, rising up again with a satisfying little growing sound and a pop, like that felt amazing. This is a game. Just chopping bamboo is a game. So I stopped working on that other game and started working on this. Again, having that sensitivity just to be like, I'm going to be chopping a million stalks of bamboo, but chopping them is not fun. Then you don't have a fun game. I'm sorry. It doesn't matter how cool the swords are. If the thing you're doing the most isn't fun, it's not going to be fun. I actually had a game that Ben tried where it was all about like running over electrified platforms. You had to guess which ones were electrified. And if you ran over the wrong one, you got zapped and start at the beginning. And I found myself putting a bridge, just from as I was developing it, like just putting a bridge over the platforms just so I could get to the end and like test those things. And I'm like, hang on, if I'm not having fun with the main interaction of my game, which is running through the files, then maybe others won't either.
There's often times where I get stuck on like a 4 or 8 bar loop and I'm just listening to it incessantly, making tweaks here and there until it sounds just the way I want it to, until the point where I've listened to it so much it's lost all meaning and like I'm skipping over parts to get to the part that I know I want to focus on. When you are really entrenched in building a world and fine-tuning little things here and there, how are you checking in with yourself on this is still fun versus like I'm skipping over this just so I can focus on the bit that I want to focus on?
I mean, that's what it is. It's am I skipping over this or not? I have a world that I'm working on now that plays with like player scale, which is a tool we only got a week ago or so. Was something we've been begging for, but now like I can actually make you small or make you big, and you can still interact with people who are different sizes. I made this mechanic: you touch a thing and you pop, you're small. It was fine, like it worked, and being small is fun, but there was nothing special about that mechanic itself. And so I was like, okay, what else does this need? And I added all this kind of whole process to it, where like you touch the thing, you don't just pop and you're small, you actually shrink, and there's a little slide whistle down that happens to shrink. And swirling animation with like a little funnel. And now every time I'm working on that world, sometimes I will literally just touch the thing that makes me small just because that experience is fun. And so when you catch yourself just casually playing your game or casually interacting with a thing because it's fun and delightful, like that's when you know you have something.